So my name is Smita Ruzicka, and I serve as the Assistant Vice President for Campus Life. And really what that means is I get to work with students all day. I oversee our orientation programs, leadership programs. I work with the LBC staff and the fraternity and sorority programs. So I just get to work with some amazing student leaders, and I really feel like I have the best job on campus. I grew up all over the place, so it's always hard for me to tell people where I'm from or what my hometown is. I was born in India. My claim to fame is that I lived in 6 different countries before I turned 4. And just have lived all over. The longest I've ever lived there anywhere has been Austin, Texas. So this is my resilience story. During my junior year in college, I was really involved in theater. I was unofficially a theater major. On the books, I was an English and psychology major, but really my passion was theater and voice performance. And so I was involved in a play every semester. I spent most of my free time in the theater department and really wanted to pursue a career in theater. And so in my junior year, I started auditioning for a lot of different theater companies. One of the auditions I went to was with a well-known theater company. And after I did my monologue on stage and felt really good about that monologue, the folks that were in the audience, who were sort of the folks who were evaluating me, gave me some feedback, and it was sort of a little back and forth. And one of them made this sort of almost offhanded comment about my future career plans. And he said, "Oh, you want to do theater? That's interesting. There's not a lot of roles out there for young Indian women." And when I heard that, I felt like there was just a jolt that went through my body, because that was the first time I'd heard someone say that. And what I heard was there was no place for me here. And I remember sort of feeling like I just stopped right there in my tracks and I didn't know what else to say. And for days after that, I reflected on what it would mean for me to pursue a career in theater. And for months, I struggled with that, and finally decided that maybe this is not something I want to do. And as my junior year progressed, I changed my mind and decided to pursue other things. And I decided to look into programs in psychology, and eventually got my master's in psychology. But somewhere along the way, one of the things I realized is that person on that day, that was not the first time someone would say something like that to me. Over the years, I've heard some sort of version of that. I've been in enough rooms where I am the only one that looks like me. Sometimes I'm the youngest one, sometimes I'm the only woman, sometimes I'm the only person of color, sometimes I'm the only woman of color. And in many ways, those messages keep coming back to me. And what I realized along the way, with the support of my family and of some amazing mentors and people in my life, is the only thing I can control is how I react to that. And every time I hear someone say, "You're not this enough," or "You're not good enough," or "Wow, there's not a lot of people that look like you," I always go back to that moment. And I think about that girl standing on that stage, feeling like her whole life had come to a stop. And I feel proud of the fact that I no longer let that happen, because I control how I feel about things. And I feel proud of the spaces where I am the only one, because that means that I belong there. And ever since that time, what I've learned is no matter what people tell you, you have to create your own story and you have to create your own path to what you want to do. In the end, I don't regret not pursuing a career in theater. For years, I was part of an improv troupe and enjoyed doing that. I feel like many days I perform here in just a different type of stage. So I've never regretted that decision. And I've always felt that one moment in time was really important in helping me figure out how I needed to be